Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. Hang on here a second. We'll get the screen share happening. Okay. So I was just taking a look here. Pre-market, it looks as though the market putting in a very strong rally, starting about an hour and a half before this market's open. Typically, there is pre-market reports and news and whatnot that tends to hit the market about an hour before. This one actually got going a little bit earlier, but at that 5:30 mark Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, you can see the market got a little bit of giddy up. Nice little rally to the upside. This is actually leaving us with a moderate size gap here now to the downside. There is a little bit of a gap here, market leaving off yesterday somewhere around the 68.50 mark, and we're kind of getting going here around 69.10-ish. So right now it looks like they may actually try to get into that gap. This, of course, the NASDAQ. I see there's a new person in the room here this morning. Welcome. Let me just give you a really quick overview of what you're looking at here. This is the complete diversified trading system along with the Raptor. So we've got the Hawk Scalper here in the top left, Falcon Swing Trader bottom right, Eagle Trend Trader bottom left, and then of course the Raptor here on the bottom right. The markets I'm watching here are the NASDAQ, and I've also got the E-mini and the Russell open on my other monitor. And I've got the Euro-US dollar pair here as well. If you're interested in the Forex markets, we can pull those up. Okay, at the moment, we're just jockeying for some position here as we move back and forth. You can see we're flipping back and forth here. On the Eagle, our trading band changing up here a little bit. And that's mirrored by what's going on now on the Raptor. As well as the Hawk, we're starting to get a few yellow bars creeping up here. The Falcon coming through with a trend change signal, but it's still very, very early. We're only about 3 or 4 minutes into the day. I'm probably going to sit on my hands here for a little bit, although I don't know if the market's going to try to fill that gap. It may be worthwhile trying to set up a short off perhaps this number 3 signal. Oh, why ask for trouble? I'll just wait. I'll wait a little bit longer. While we're waiting for the market to settle in somewhat, and while I think of it, living here in the Pacific Northwest in the wintertime, we can get some pretty nasty winter storms, not in the sense of cold and snow and that kind of thing, but we tend to get a lot of rain and a lot of wind. And where I happen to live, there's also a lot of rather large trees around. So if you try to log in one morning and I'm not online, chances are pretty good that an unexpected storm has knocked out the power. Now, we are on the same electrical grid as the hospital, so we do get priority for the service calls. But I don't want you thinking that I've forgotten about you. We're getting, it's not really a storm today, but the first serious soaking of the winter season, or the fall. I guess winter doesn't technically start for a few weeks yet. November tends to be a relatively wet month. And then things settle in a little bit for December, and usually January we get just enough snow to keep us humble. And then February it's off to the golf course again. Although it is supposed to clear up this weekend, so maybe I'll sneak in a round or two yet. All right, well, we had a nice little bull push there. Actually, the Raptor did give us a number one signal, so decent follow through on that number one signal. Decent follow through here now on the number two signal as well. That's the counter trend signal. The filter is starting to break up here a little bit. We're starting to interject a little bit more selling. So maybe we're going to see some downside momentum. Haven't really gone all that far yet. Of course, now we've got the number one signal. I suppose, I was going to say, I suppose we could throw a just in case order below here as the market scoots past me. And it looks like that has found its profit objective. Quick little move lower there. Okay, it does appear that for the moment, I would say the sellers are in control here. You could take a look at trying to get in off of one of these, what we call discretionary signals. These are just follow-up signals. And there's one right there. Doggone it. They are quick here this morning. Well, faster than I am. It doesn't seem to take too much right now. All right, let's put that away. Some very nice signals here across the board. Here on the Hawk, we had your first micro-macro cross, followed by the macro pullback signal. This is the usual sequence of these signals. Then we had a really, really tiny wannabe 4-arrow consolidation. It really only gave us 3, but there are 4 signals there. No, sorry, only 3. Now we're actually working a first micro-macro cross to buy. Now, because we're using a scalp target on that first micro-macro cross, it shouldn't have too much difficulty finding your profit objective. Oh, wow. Even if you were late to that one, you did not have too much difficulty finding the profit objective. Seems as though they still haven't really settled in which way they want to be going here this morning. We know they're not liking the 69.25 zone, because look at how quickly they came down from there. And we're knowing they're not liking this zone down here either. Because it is such a big trading range, I'm halfway tempted just to throw an OCO order in to buy above here and to short below here. And whichever side fills, then that's the side I'll take. Maybe start with a bigger stop, like so. Not quite the same thing as what we were doing yesterday with the trading ranges. Because I'm not quite sure the trading range has established itself yet. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mark. Mark says it's almost quarter to the hour. Yeah. All right. Let's close that. What Mark's referring to is it seems the trades, I don't know, for whatever reason, the trades that come at about 15 minutes into the session sometimes give you a little bit of a head fake. They look like they're going to go one way and then they actually go the other way. So I do tend to avoid trading at about quarter to the hour. Oh, but they always make it look so tempting. Here we go. We got a couple bullish signals. The eagle coming out with a nice little red bar buy, and now just a follow-up buy signal. A nice little trend change here on the Falcon. Maybe a late filter entry. Okay, I'll be good. I won't do it. I won't do it. Oh, I'm so weak. What we'll do is they're probably, I suspect they're going to make a run here at 69.25. And if we say this is our trading range, we know there's a tendency for sellers to be up here, a tendency for buyers to be down here. Once they break the range and we get a reaction, we'll have a much better idea where to enter above. Okay, so there's a break. Let's see if we get a bear bar now. Oh, or not. Stinkers. Oh, thanks, Mark. Mark said I took that one for you. Taking one for the team. Way to go, buddy. All right, so now that we have the reaction, and we're going to see whether this breakout is going to hold. Well, we know if the breakout holds, it has to trade above that high at the very least. Well, they're holding not too bad. Let's see if the bullish break sticks. And if they do come right back inside this trading range, then there's a pretty good chance the market may try to retest the bottom end. Ooh, so far the breakout struggling here a little bit. Now, if I get a bullish reaction of a bar or two, I will know where I can put my sell stop. All right, got the market in a little bit of a twist. It's still around that quarter to the hour mark. So again, not my favorite time of the day to trade. All right, got a first micro macro cross lower here. Going to work a possible trend change here on the Falcon as well. Oh, here got a. Oh, not with 9 contracts. Hold on. There we go. Just my OCO order popped me out, so I'm just trying to get back in with that. And let's see whether they do have any momentum here. If they do have some momentum, they could try to fill that gap from this morning. And like I said, at the very least, they may try to get toward the bottom end of this trading range. So I'm going to bring this down here a little bit to the bottom end of the trading range, try to sneak a couple more ticks out of the trade. And if I get a bar or two here, there we go. So I'm going now with the bar high-low strategy, which is a pretty aggressive stop strategy. No, they didn't give me any more. All right, that's fine. So we'll set that to the side now. You could be right. Mark says, I still think 70-30 is a possible target. I don't see why not. We were there just a couple of days ago. Let's take a look here at a daily chart. Sometimes it's helpful to have a daily perspective. Kind of get an overall feel for things. So we're definitely starting to move a little bit sideways. We had a very, very strong move lower and then a strong recovery. Look at the size of these bars and how well they closed near the high. That's significant. But then we reversed it all over the next few days. And then yesterday we had this doji style bar with plenty of volume attached to it. So it's still not clear whether the market is going to try to resume the trend here, or if this is just going to be a little bit of a pause in the action, whether this is going to turn out to be a big bear flag, in which case the market will continue lower, or if this is a new leg higher and the market's going to try to break out. But 70-30, shoot, that's only right here. That's right in the mix. I think that's definitely a possibility. Yeah, the market a little bit stuck. A lot of traders are going to be looking at this differently. Some will be looking at it as an upside down head and shoulders, an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder. They'll be drawing a trend line here. They'll be waiting for a breakout and a retest. That's the key. And then they'll be looking to buy the market higher. I could see that. I could see that being a very feasible scenario for this market. I could see 7,600 being a pretty reasonable target, taking us somewhere back near the highs. That's kind of where the selling took off from. You see here, around 7,650. We got some very, very strong selling. Okay, you heard it here first. For what it's worth. Okay, back now toward the bottom end of the trading range that we looked at here, so the lows of the morning. Now we're going to look to see what kind of breakout and retest we get from here. So we're going to do the same kind of thing. This here, the bottom end. And you can do this, of course, you can do this on your other tools as well. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to see here on the eagle because it comprises more. Come on, give me one more bar. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna look to short, and I'll throw my buy in up here. That's not where I'm gonna buy, but just so I have it. That would have been a very, very quick little retest. I don't know if I trust that. What's going on with the other tools? See, the Raptor giving us a counter trend signal. Not sure I want to do that, but that is the option. Okay, so now we've got a proper retest of this breakout. We've come back, we've retested, we have our short order ready in case the bottom falls out of the market. Okay, if you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive on this trade, you could sandwich it up like this now. The idea, of course, is if the breakout doesn't hold, it's going to move back inside this trading range. 6,900 looks like it would be an easy target. I would almost prefer not to buy. There I go, I just bought. I would almost prefer not to buy and just look for the with trend opportunity, but here we are. Okay, we'll bring that break even in a little bit, make it cozier. Oh, there we go, got the break even. Get those stops up there. So here we are back 6,900. Nothing fancy about that. It's just the market likes to gravitate towards whole numbers. All right, wasn't a monster trade, but good enough for a few dollars anyhow. Yeah, Mark writes, I'm with you. It's got to make a test of the high again. When, of course, is the $64,000 question. Lots of flip-flopping here right now. We can't seem to get in sync. By that I mean, we get a decent move higher, and we get a move lower, and now we're getting a move higher. It's like they can't get it in gear. Well, at least the couple of trades have been profitable. Even though they have been a little tricky to get at. A few more minutes here before we reach the top of the hour and opening range expiring, maybe. Well, doesn't get much more sideways than this. All right, a little bit more back and forth. I think, if this is a trading range, looks like we're going to get a bearish break. I don't know if I want to try the initial break, although if it does go, it should have some giddy up. All right, so there's the break. Let's see if I get a reaction. There's my part of my OCO order. Oh, are they going to give me a bar, or is that all I'm going to get right there? Just that hesitation. Come on, you got to get up there. Let's do this properly. All right, just the same principles that we've been looking at before. Nothing really fancy here. Just the test and retest. All right, here they go. I could bring my buy stop in above here again if I really wanted to put the squeeze on them. It's a little bit trickier, but all right, there they go. They filled me to the long side again, not what I was anticipating. In fact, I think a move lower does seem more likely. But I've said that before, haven't I? Only to watch the market reverse and go the other direction. If I can get another bull bar here, I will get my stops in a little bit tighter. There we go. All right, we'll kind of ride it bar for bar now. Oh, they're going to take me out. All right, so I think I was just a little bit too quick with that on the buy side. So we'll try the same thing. Like I said, I think I was just a little bit too fast with my buy order. Or maybe I was too fast with my stop. Oh, darn it. I may have been a little bit too quick with my stop. All right, well, there's not a whole lot going on right now. This is not exactly cherry picking a trade, which is preferable. You can see here we're getting a few different signals here now. A number 3 signal on the back of a number 2 signal. And it does appear as though I was a little bit too quick with my exit order, maybe. Yeah, you could be right. Stephen says I'd rather see a move back to 68.92 and then a short from there. Yeah, too bad. I was a little bit too fast with my stop. Okay, here we are. Same principle as before. We had the breakout. The market has moved into the trading range. We're going to see if the breakout sticks. We've already had a green bar sell, and I'm sure we've had other signals. Oh, actually, we haven't. The eagle, the only one coming up here with the green bar sell now. And so now we'll essentially see whether the breakout is going to take, or if the market will reverse and head the other way. Okay, so let's get a stop in play there. Ooh, maybe we're just going too sideways. We are starting to get a bit of a sideways drift. Here you can see the Falcon. You know, we're getting that roller coaster effect, the filter all over the map. Lots of yellow bars here on the Hawk. That tends to be choppy. Okay, got the trade going now with my bar high low strategy. Oh, and they just look back enough. Shoot. Shoot. All right, well, let's put that away. I thought for sure we were going to see more follow through on that move, but apparently not. Well, we're getting a whole lot of signals going on here. I suspect it will still slip lower. That's just kind of my gut call. But they're not playing very nice. In fact, it seems as though they've stalled again. Or have I spoken too soon? Well, if we come back with another number 2 signal here, I may be inclined to buy. Just because it seems as though they're struggling to head lower. And if that's the case, sometimes we'll see a little bit more momentum go the other way. If we come back with a number 2 signal, and I will just buy in as the market seems to be a little quick. And this too is a little bit of a crapshoot. It's not like yesterday where the market was making some very nice smooth progression, some nice setups. Today, everything has just gone into the chop zone. Do 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 do. Great question here from Paul. Paul's asking, hey, Eric, on the Eagle, how many green bar sells or red bar buys would you typically see? The green bar sell, so first let's identify what it is. The green bar sell occurs in a downtrend, and it occurs when the market hits or surpasses the hard edge. It is a strong continuation signal, not to be confused with the weaker green bar sell or red bar buy that you get on the hawk. How many do you usually see? Well, with the Eagle, as a rule of thumb, you only get, and again, this is just a rule of thumb, but with the Eagle, you normally see 2 legs in a move. So that was leg number 1. Then we hit this broad sideways range, and this appears now to be leg number 2. Within this type of scenario, you'll usually see, well, at least 1, typically 2, and sometimes 3 green bar sells. This particular one had 3, even though the band was bullish here. In hindsight, it did turn out that it was a green bar sell. The tricky part with the green bar sell is, or the red bar buy, the bullish counterpart. The tricky part with it is there's always the danger that it can become a test of the extreme and that the market will reverse and head the other way. Therefore, ideally, you want to make sure you have a little bit of room down here that you can do something with your stops if the market reacts early. So in this case, the market's coming down. And if we got about this far and now all of a sudden we print a bull bar, you know, our safety net is here, but ideally we want to be able to do something with our stops. Typically what would happen is you would get a couple bull bars and then you would get 1 more bear bar. That gives you the opportunity to bring your stops in a bit. And at this point now, the market will either continue lower or it's going to reverse and stop you out. But you can see that you've had the opportunity to reduce your risk approximately by half. So instead of losing $200, you could get tagged out for $100. Sometimes it will go a little bit lower before you get that little reversal, allowing you to get your trade to more of a break-even type situation. But that's usually what I look for in a green bar sell. I like to have a little bit of room before the market may encounter previous support or resistance, as the case may be. If it's too tight, oh, I guess this one actually had more than 3. See, this one too, I've got a little bit of room here to work in case the market comes down. See how it's trying to go higher? Well, at this point, after this bar closed, I would definitely bring my stops down, because there's some bullishness coming into the market. So now it's either going to go lower or it's going to come up and stop me out. Good question, though. Really good question. I think it depends too on the strength of the trend. But like I said, now that we've seen 2 very strong legs lower, it does open up the possibility of a reversal. As soon as I say that, the market tanks. Stupid market. And now we're back into all this sidewaysness. We're printing so many bars. There's so much activity here this morning. Like I said, it's almost too much, almost too difficult to get a handle on what's going on. Ooh, and there they go. All right, well, I'm getting shut out here a little bit, but that's okay. I only need 1 or 2 trades. All right, well, here we go again. Don't know how aggressive I want to be on the buy, but it almost appears as though we're getting a bit of a bottom. We'll see if we come back with a number 2 signal now. That will be our counter trend signal. Oh, they're going to have to hold it here. All right, well, here we go. We're getting a little bit of bullishness. The Raptor is going to be one of the first here to give us a buy signal. If we can get bullish. Well, here's a delayed entry on your number 3 signal, your second push opportunity. Oh, okay, there we go. There now is the number 2 signal. Let's see if I get a second push on that. Actually, we have a very OCO-able trade here as well. We could buy above here. We could short below here. I know I'm doing a lot of OCO style trades here this morning. Okay, well, all right. Are they going to give me the swing? Oh, they're thinking about it. I'm being fairly aggressive with the stops at this point. I could go with something like the parabolics or the super trend. Would give me a little bit more wiggle room, but honestly, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like the market deserves it this morning. They are all over the place. Well, it's been a tough little morning here. Well, that move kind of short-lived. Okay, a little bit of an uptick. Well, I don't know. The trend is down, but barely so. Well, way to go, Stephen. Stephen says, I've one trade for profit, which is more than my 17 trades yesterday. All right. Well, things getting perhaps a little bit more bullish here. I'm going to try this number one signal. I've got a bit of a second push opportunity on it. Yeah, Mark says 17 trades. Yikes. I know Steven's pretty quick though. Steve likes the quick little scalp type trades. Antonio's asking, "Hi Eric, no news on the money management for Ninja 8? I know we keep asking about it." Here is what the trade manager programmer has told me is that hopefully he will have something before the end of next week. So he has told me this before, so you got to take it for what it's worth. We are working on a system that is not strategy based. You see, the trade manager, part of the problem is this trade manager is based on the NinjaTrader strategy programming versus an indicator, which is, everything else you see here on your chart. So we hope to have an option available shortly, and then something will be going on this month, one way or another. I wish I could be more specific, but I just don't have the details. That's the honest to goodness truth. I just don't have the details. I am at the whim of the programmers. All right, so my number one signal not working out as anticipated, so we'll just kind of throw that on the back burner. Okay, more of the back and forth. We didn't get any follow through to the upside. We're getting a bit of a drawn out possible number two signal developing here. So here now the bounce off of the hard edge. If the signal fails and heads the other way, there is a chance of a reversal. And I'm just thinking that because, well, we're struggling, right? We're struggling for direction. We're not going higher, we're not going lower. Or maybe we are, and it's just too drawn out. Oh, getting a little bit of giddy up. Off that. Number 3 signal and the trend line intersection. All right, here we go again. There's the sell signal. This is a number 2 signal, even though it didn't print as such. That's only because it's too far removed. All right, so I'll throw the short in there. So we've had the test of the extreme. We've had the counter trend signal. Come on, got the break even. All right, got the first profit target. We'll go with the parabolics now. Oh, hold on there. Don't stop me out yet. Come on. You can see we're hovering right here at the median line as well. I don't think we've gone all that far off the median line into our support and resistance suite this morning. All right, let's see what they got. A move back down to the low of the day would be ideal. Oh, come on, get off of that median line already. Come on, you stinkers. Look at that, they actually gapped my, there we go. I was going to say they gapped my exit order. But they reached back just enough to find it. I don't know why the market seems to be so thin lately. That is not at all like the NASDAQ. Okay, well, that was all right. Decent little setup, decent little trade. Now we're back inside this broader trading range again. It seems as though we've broken a significant swing back here, which means we should see one more push higher. So I may be inclined to be a little bit more bullish at this point. Here we are now with a number one signal, the cloud crossover signal. We've got a trend change signal here in the Falcon as well. Working on a possible late filter entry signal here in the Falcon also. Can I cover it back there? Ooh, I can. So the signal has not developed yet. I'm anticipating it. The trend line is out of sync. I know if this bar finishes up here, if it finishes green, the trend line or the filter will come back into sync. Okay, it did not, so I will cancel that. Oh, they're still not ready. Look at how much time, well, we've spent going sideways. Then there's a little, well, not a little move, but there's a move, and then we go sideways, a move, and we go sideways. Well, that's where we're at right now. Yeah, it's tough this morning. Tough slogging. Like I say, the overall trend on the morning does seem to be down. But it also seems as though maybe we found something resembling support. Stay tuned. Oh, there they go. So now the bullish break, and I'm a little bit late on that. But a nice little move here off that number one signal. I was checking out my other chart, and doggone it, they didn't run right past me. But you can see how the principles remain the same, right? If you see the market violate a significant swing point, you can anticipate there will be two moves in the direction of that breakout. Likewise, when way back here, when we go back here this morning, so here was the open. Yes, there's the open. Okay, so the market broke that swing. We should be looking for another opportunity to get short. It took them a while, but they eventually did come back. Actually, this one kind of evened out because we broke the swing to the top side. So this one was fairly balanced. You don't usually see it that way. Normally what happens is what's going on here, where you see a break and then you can anticipate a couple of moves in the direction of the breakout. Oh, as with all things trading related, it's true until it ain't. That was a nice little move, though, off that number one signal. And now we're just kind of kind of going flat again. Now here we have a number 3 signal, but if I'm going to respect the ATR, I am on the wrong side of that. So I may put the brakes on that just for a minute. Not a bad morning overall. It has been a tough morning. Oh, and here we go again to the short side. We did get a couple discretionary signals here, kind of difficult to take. Good follow through now off this number 1 signal. I guess I could afford to be a little bit more aggressive here. It does appear as though the sellers have the market in hand. Nice little late filter entry signal here as well. Ooh, Mark's calling for a bounce. Yeah, you could be right. So the bounce idea is just when the band starts to get very, very extended. We have the band counter, or I have the band counter here on the Raptor. You can also put it on the Eagle. Essentially, you can hold out now for a buy signal, or here on the Eagle, you can just go, oh, there's the buy signal. So we'll just pop in with a buy signal there on the Raptor. And you're just looking for a short-term move back here toward the hard edge. Ooh, and that one not user-friendly. The evils of counter trend trading. Always difficult. But it is still noteworthy when your band starts to get about 50, certainly 60, 70 ticks broad, it will have a tendency to try to move the other way. I think the sellers have the market in hand at this point, though. When in doubt, stay with the trend. Or, as they say in the Army, when all else fails, do as you're told. Okay, it might have been a little bit early on that pullback attempt. This one's starting to look a little bit more promising. So we've got a number 2 signal. We've got a continuation signal. It wasn't a number 3 signal, but still a little bit of a continuation. Now we're going to come back and print yet another number 2 signal right there. This one in sync. This one in sync with the ATR. Now it didn't print as a number 2 signal. It's just visually a number 2. You can see the test of the extreme, the market not continuing lower. Might get another crack at it. Okay, here now another test of the extreme. This is also a number 2 signal. It's not printing as a number 2 because it's just too far away from the low. There's too many bars in here, but visually you can see it's still a number 2 signal. All right, decent fill, no slippage on that one. They very likely will get back here to the median line around the 68.46 zone. If I get another bullish bar here, though, I'm going to start to bring my stops up. If I get a pair of bullish bars. Okay, possibility of a bear flag breakout now. So here we are, we're testing the trend line. If the buyers are going to pull it together, they're going to have to do it pretty quick. I don't want to start rolling my stops yet, but I know I should. So I'm kind of playing with this low right here, anticipating some buying to come in from there. on these reversal trades, you do need to try to be less aggressive with your stops because the market does need some room to turn around. Hooray! Great question here from Mike. Mike asks, the ultimate support and resistance lines are calculated on midnight East Coast. Was that time backtested for optimum accuracy? Why not New York closing at 1 p.m. or midnight GMT? Great question. And yeah, we tested it, and we settled on New York midnight because, well, hey, New York is arguably the largest financial center in the world, but you can also offset your time. So if you would like the calculation to occur at Greenwich Mean Time, you can offset the time according to your time zone, and it will change the way the bars are calculated. Likewise, if you want it to close at the end of the day session, you can adjust your times accordingly. But we did play with all the different time zones, and we found that midnight Eastern did tend to be the most accurate, and that's what the defaults are set at. But it's a great question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. All right, boys and girls, I think we're going to button up shop here for the morning. If you are continuing to trade this afternoon, I would remain bearish, I think. I think the bears have this market in hand. You can probably expect more to the downside. That's my 2 cents for what it's worth. All right, everyone. I will talk to you again tomorrow. See you then. Bye for now.